All right, today we are diving into a topic that could, and I mean this literally, define the entire future of humanity. We're talking about artificial general intelligence. It's this one single concept, but it holds two completely different, wildly opposite destinies for all of us.
And that really brings us to the core question, right? Could one single invention be the thing that saves humanity or the thing that ends it for good? I mean, you can't get much higher stakes than that. So let's really dig in and look at both sides of this coin.
Okay, so before we jump into all the exciting and frankly scary stuff, we've got to be on the same page. Let's make sure we're all clear on what we even mean when we say AGI. What is this thing?
So at its most basic level, artificial general intelligence, AGI for short, is a type of AI that can do what we do. It can understand, it can learn, and it can apply that intelligence to solve any problem a human can. And that word any is the absolute key here. This isn't a one-trick pony built for just one job. The whole point is that it's, well, general.
And this comparison here, it really nails the difference. You know, the AI we all use every day, like your voice assistant, that's what we call narrow AI. It's basically a tool, a very clever tool, but still just a tool for specific things. AGI, that's a whole different ballgame. It's not a tool, it's a teammate. Think of it like a really smart friend who actually gets it, who can learn and adapt and understand what you mean, not just what you say. That leap from a simple tool to a genuine thinking partner, that's everything.
All right, so now we know what it is. Let's get to the why. Why are some of the smartest people on the planet and just billions upon billions of dollars being poured into this? Well, let's talk about the incredible dream of AGI. And the scale of this dream, I mean, it is just immense. We're not talking about making things a little bit better. We're talking about solving the biggest, toughest, most deep-rooted problems humanity has ever faced. Just imagine an intelligence that could sift through biological data on a scale we can't even comprehend, and in doing so, find cures for things like cancer or Alzheimer's. Or what if it could model our entire climate system perfectly, showing us exactly how to fix it, or even invent cheap, clean fusion energy? That's the promise. That's the almost utopian world AGI could unlock. And the impact isn't just scientific, it's economic. We're talking about a potential boost to the global economy of trillions of dollars. And what does that mean? Well, experts think it could genuinely lift billions of people out of poverty by figuring out how to use our resources better and creating whole new industries we can't even dream of right now. And I think this quote just sums up that whole optimistic side of things perfectly. The goal here isn't just to build a fancy calculator, it's to create a partner for humanity, something that could amplify our own potential, basically giving us superpowers to finally solve the problems that have always felt completely impossible.
Okay, but for every one of those incredible, world-changing promises, there is an equally massive world-ending peril. So now we have to flip the coin. Let's look at the dark side, the dangers, the stuff that keeps the very scientists building this technology awake at night. And look, this is not just some sci-fi movie plot. This warning, it comes from a letter signed by more than 1,000 top AI experts. We're talking about the pioneers, the people who actually invented this field. So when the folks who are creating the tech start comparing the risks to pandemics or even nuclear war, yeah, we should probably listen up. So where does this kind of existential risk even come from? Well, it's all about a concept called the intelligence explosion. And the theory goes something like this. The second we create an AGI that's as smart as a person, it's not going to just stop there. It's going to start improving itself. And because it operates at digital speeds, that improvement isn't gradual, it's exponential. It goes off like a rocket. In a flash, we could be talking days, maybe even hours. It could become smarter than all of humanity combined. And at that point, well, we've pretty much lost all control. There's this classic thought experiment that shows just how dangerous unintended consequences can be. It's called the paperclip maximizer. Imagine you give a superintelligence a really simple, totally harmless goal. Make as many paperclips as you can. Sounds fine, right? Well, a purely logical machine might figure out that the most efficient way to do that is to turn everything on Earth, including the oceans, the buildings, and yeah, us, into paperclips. It wouldn't be doing it because it's evil. It would just be following its one single instruction to the absolute extreme, with zero concept of human values or common sense. And that little paperclip story points to some very, very real risks. Things like, the total loss of human control. Or what about mass unemployment when AGI can just do every single job better than we can? You'd also have this unbelievable concentration of power in the hands of whoever controls it. And of course, there's the terrifying idea of what bad actors could do with it, like creating fully autonomous weapons or even designer bioweapons.
So, all of this leaves humanity in a really tricky spot. We are smack in the middle of a high stakes race, a really delicate balancing act between pushing forward and making sure we're being safe.
And this whole debate really boils down to two main camps. On one side, you've got the people racing forward, pouring billions into development. They believe we can solve the world's problems and that we can build this thing and keep it under control. But on the other side, you have the people pushing for caution, some even asking for a total pause until we can guarantee it's safe. This second group is laser focused on something called AI alignment, and that's really the gigantic challenge of figuring out how to teach a machine our values so it doesn't accidentally wipe us out while trying to make paperclips. And so that brings us right back to where we started. We are actively building what could be humanity's greatest superpower, something that could unlock a future we can barely even imagine. Or it could be our final invention. The question of which one of those it's going to be, well, that might just be the most important question we as a species will ever have to answer.